Hello and welcome back to Brunswick Boys MMA. Today we are going over a little bit of a weird video. This is something personal I just want to do because this is something I feel like is very unique to every MMA fan, everyone who watches the sport. Pretty much any fan of any sport is going to be a unique list, but this is my top 10 favorite UFC fights. Now, if I said MMA fights, it would just be me glazing all my boys. So we're going with UFC fights. Now, these are not the 10 greatest fights of all time, but these are the 10 fights that had the most meaning to me personally and that I enjoyed the most watching. Excuse me, sipping my tea there. Throat's a little dry today. Starting off number 10, we have a fight that's old. It's an old head pick, all right? It's not a modern day choice here. We're looking at Lyoto Machida versus Randy Couture. Now, what makes this fight so insanely special to me personally is the finish. For those of you who are not aware, Lyoto Machida crane kicks Randy Couture in the face, leading to a knockout. And as a karate guy, the crane kick, the little jump front kick, that was cool as fuck. And little me being the karate kid at the time, that was awesome. So for that reason, this fight has a special place in my heart, always will. Not the craziest fight in the world, but certainly a good one for number 10. Special place in my heart for that pick. Moving on to number 9. We have Derek Lewis versus Marco Rogério de Lima. Now, the reason that this fight holds so much meaning for me personally is Derek Lewis is one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. For those of you who are not aware, who weren't watching at that time, Derek Lewis was about to be cut. He was on a 2 or 3 fight losing streak. He was about to be cut. Fights Rogério de Lima, comes out with a flying fucking knee from giant big fat bastard Derek Lewis right to the dome, almost colds him there, proceeds follow-up shots and gets the finish. But what an insane roller coaster of emotions right off the get-go for this fight. Just, oh shit, there goes Derek Lewis. It was nuts, and that was one of the happiest moments for me as a fan of the sport. Number 7, we got Tom Aspinall versus Sergey Pavlovich. He's a great fighter. This was fucking awesome. I'm a huge Tom Aspinall fan. I fucking hate John Jones, and this was the fight that was, determine who was supposed to fight John next. So for me, this was crazy. I was really scared for Aspinall going into this. My best friend Ben and I were sitting there on my couch losing our fucking minds, watching them swing. Pavlovich cracks Aspinall. Aspinall cracks Pavlovich. Pavlovich is down. Oh shit, it's over. It was a short fight, but it was an incredibly emotional one for me, and one that's always going to hold. It's a win that'll always have a special place in my heart. It was incredible to watch, and seeing Tom, the amount that he's been dicked around since then, just breaks my heart, man. Coming at number 6, we have Cyril Gane versus Tai Tuivasa. Oh, oui, bonjour. This fight was fucking nuts. All right, this was not a great technical fight. For those of you who remember this one, it was a bit of a fucking mess, but it was a good fight, This was before Tai Tuivasa went on his legendary, 6-fight losing streak, 5-fight losing streak, whatever he's on right now. He's got one chance to redeem himself here in Perth, but before that, there was a point in time where Tai Tuivasa, for those of you who are not aware, was almost, interim champ of heavyweight, or almost champ, sorry. He was going to fight John Jones if he won this matchup, and he almost colded Gane a couple of times. And I'm not a Gane fan, but I do like Tai Tuivasa. I find him entertaining. And what I loved about this fight is you just didn't know what was going to happen. It was, Gane was going to get cracked out cold, or Tuivasa was going out. And it was just a giant mess of a brawl. Both guys almost went out a couple times. In the end, Gane got the win and proceeded to get ragdolled by Jones. But, insane fight to watch. If you were there at the time, it was crazy to think that Tai Tuivasa could have been fighting John Jones. Coming in at number 5, we have Gilbert Burns, Dohinho versus Khamzat Chimaev. I'm not a huge Khamzat fan, to be honest, guys. I find him boring lately, and I honestly just find him arrogant. But this was fucking crazy. You got Chimaev, who had never been hit in a fight, goes in there with Gilbert Burns. Everyone's thinking Burns is dead, Burns is dead, Burns is dead. Psych, motherfuckers. Gilbert Burns wins a round off Chimaev. They go to fucking war, drop each other multiple times, almost finish each other. It was an insane 15-minute fight. One of the best fights of all time. It would make a list of the top 10 greatest scraps of all time in MMA. Shout out my king Bobby Green. He'd be in that list too a couple times. But yeah, this was crazy to watch. And I remember this was on the McGregor Poirier 3 card, I believe, if I remember correctly. I think we hosted Benny's Fight Club, the last one Ben worked on with me. And then we went back to his place. There were some mushrooms involved. There was some marijuana involved. We were watching this. That was that card. It was fucking crazy. I remember just the fucking scenes, man. No, that wasn't this card. Wonder Boy fought Burns on that card and lost, which broke my heart. I can't remember which card this happened on. 273, which card was that? I can't remember for the life of me. It was an Usman card. I genuinely cannot remember for the life of me what card that was on. But yeah, either way, it was a great fight. It was April, so it wasn't then. I can't remember, but either way, crazy. For some reason, I'm blank, but it was a crazy fucking fight. If you haven't watched it, go watch it on YouTube. There's channels that have posted. Insane bar and burner of a fight. Burns almost won, almost derailed Khamzat Chimaev's hype train. Coming in at number 4, we have Oliveira versus Chandler. This was fucking nuts. If you guys were there before the memes, the whole
shut your bitch ass up, man. We ain't trying to listen to you right now, man. You damn crack.
Before the Michael Chandler memes of him adopting children of a certain race were, popularized. Before all that happened, we had Oliveira versus Chandler. Oliveira was an underdog in this fight. Chandler just finished Dan Hooker. He's coming out of Bellator, looking like he's going to be UFC champ. Oliveira's Oliveira. Fans love him. This was right when Olive was getting his flowers, right when Olives was really getting his love. And what a friggin' war that was. What an insane matchup. Just unstoppable. The entire fight was just a back and forth war. Right off the gate, Chandler drops Oliveira. Oliveira drops Chandler. Oliveira ends up getting the finish, but man, was it crazy to watch. If you guys have never watched this, go do yourself a favor. It was a very special time to being an MMA fan. The Oliveira was awesome, jiu-jitsu every day, brother, right? And then you got, you just got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get to work and put your nose to the grindstone. I'm Michael Chandler, and I adopt black children. And then you got, Charles Dupronx, yes. It was a crazy time to be alive and be an MMA fan. I think we were at a party watching this one. It was either this one or the Gagey Oliveira fight. We were at some part. No, it was Oliveira Chandler at a party. Or not Oliveira Chandler, Gagey Chandler. See, I've watched every UFC card for like the past 15 years. I can't. Anyways, crazy shit, man. It was nuts to watch this fight, though. Insane. One of the greatest title fights of all time. Coming in number 3, Ankalaev and Pereira 2. This holds a special place in my heart, and I'm assuming the hearts of many. If you're like me, you're a big Pereira fan. I remember seeing Pereira before he was in the UFC because my father's a big fight fan as well. And we used to have the Fight Network when we had normal TV. And I was a little bit younger. And I remember Glory and K1 used to come on all the time. And I'd seen Pereira fight in Glory years before he was in the UFC. And once he did get into the UFC and he went on this crazy tear through everyone, I thought there was no stopping this guy. And then Ankalaev fight, the first one, I honestly didn't know who won the decision. I thought it was a pretty close fight, but it broke my heart to see that. I worked at 6 a.m. after that, so I just stayed up all night and being depressed. But yeah, it was a crazy fight. The first one was crazy, not in the sense it was like a complete war, but it was crazy in the sense of like I didn't know what the fuck to expect because Pereira had just been sleeping. Everyone he gets in there with Ankh, seems off. Apparently he was injured. Second fight gets booked, and I'm thinking, all right, either Pereira's done or Ankalaev is getting his shit rocked. Well, all it took was like 40-something seconds for Pereira to go out there and lay him out. Right off the bat, right gets in his face, starts fucking swinging, lands a left hook, fucking down he goes. I think it was a left hook or right hand, I can't remember. Anyway, lands on fucking Ankh. Ankh dives for his legs, covers up, turtles, and dies. God bless Pereira, you saved light heavyweight and then left, and now it's a fucking mess. I honestly think Pereira's going to be gone. Here at number 3, we have a fight that's going to be on everyone's list. Not Oliver, Jesus. Chandler. No, not Chandler. Gagey versus Holloway. I'm sorry, guys. I need coffee. Gagey versus Holloway. This was fucking nuts. Holloway clearly won the fight, even up until the end. But just the fucking war these two went to. They went to war for 25 minutes. They went, or was it? No, it was 5 round. It was for the BMF belt. Went to war. I remember this fight now. The UFC 300 took me a second. Yeah, crazy moment. There was 1 second left on the clock. Holloway sleeps Gagey. Craziest shit you've ever seen. Holloway looked unstoppable, and they proceeded to go get slept by Topuria and held by Oliveira. But this fight was fucking nuts. One of my favorite fights I've ever seen. A good fight to show someone if you're trying to get them into MMA. But yeah, this was a very special fight for me. I remember watching this with Ben. We were hyped beyond belief. My dad was losing his shit. It was crazy. Never seen anything like this before or ever since. Number 2, we have a fight that was almost number 1. It was a tough decision for me. Teixeira versus Prohaska. My boy Yuri got his title. This was a fucking crazy. This is definitely making a top 10 craziest fights list too, because it was back and forth the whole time. Everyone's getting dropped. Everyone's getting fucking submission threats. Everyone's taking each other down. All kinds of crazy shit going on. And just at the end, when it looked like Teixeira was going to pull off the decision, Prohaska pulls off a submission and gets it done before, ruining his shoulder. But it was a crazy fight. This was one of the most entertaining fights I've ever seen. I love both of them as fighters and as people. A lot of mutual respect between these two, and honestly, it's if you ever want to show someone a fight to get them to see how entertaining MMA is, you put this one on. It's nonstop action the entire time, and it's very emotional for me because huge Prohaska fan, big fan of Glover too. And for number 1, the fight that is most important and special to me personally, my top fight of all time. Here's the fucking thing about the Chinaman, you guys. No man who jerks off to fucking beats off to cartoons is gonna beat me. Fucking puppy porn. Here's the fucking thing, you guys. I'm fucking Sean Strickland, and I beat the fuck out of Israel Adesanya. Sitting there talking about frozen like Elsa. Trust. That was, man, I have never been happier in my life. This was peak Adesanya dog fucking meme time. This was peak Strickland memes. Strickland was a massive underdog. I put money on him. Strickland walked out there. Round 1 at the end, drops Izzy, beats the shit out of him, proceeds to outpoint him. And then round 5, Strickland just walking him down, talking shit. Stand here, be a fucking man, fight me for the center jack. He's going off at him. Here's the fucking thing, you guys. Just walking him down. It was a fucking sight to behold. Sean Strickland, love him or hate him, think he's boring or fucking awesome, is one of the most entertaining people on a mic, and he certainly can put on an entertaining fight when he feels like it. He just beat Fluffy pretty convincingly. Good finish there. But this fight was nuts. It was very emotional for me. I'm a huge Strickland fan. He's probably my second or third favorite fighter. I don't like Izzy that much. He's entertaining, and he's a good fighter. He's extremely skilled. I just don't like his personality, his, dog, what he does with dogs. I love my dog, and I just can't stand to think about someone doing that to one. But man, this was nuts. I was standing up screaming at the TV like I've never screamed. Kill him, Sean, fucking kill him. Do it for the, when Johnny Comes Marching Home comes on, you hear do 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 do. There's nothing quite like that. The excitement, the electricity goes through you, and since this fight, it's only ever been more electric. That's my favorite fight I've ever watched in the UFC. This is a fight I rewatch all the time, and I just get chills watching Sean walk him down with jabs and teeps, boys. That's all she takes. But thank you guys for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you guys are having a lovely day. Take care. All the best, and we'll keep putting out videos soon.